Now let's go to Road to Glory. From Uprocks again, Robbie Cowan, like I said, put out great details about all of these things. Here are the Road to Glory details. Of course, the basics here. One of the things they were quick to note is that Road to Glory is a 10 to 20 hour story mode. And this is kind of an interesting detail. It kind of goes hand in hand with what Mike Straw reported a couple of days ago, that's not, similar to Madden has been in recent years, where you got kind of a story mode. You had the Spike Lee joint for a while, all of that stuff, where it was kind of a movie with cutscenes and then your games were in there as well. This is really just more of a RPG type experience where, there's not a dedicated story mode like that with cutscenes. It's more you making the decisions to decide how it plays out. And, they made it 10 to 20 hours, which is interesting detail because they feel like it's going to be super replayable because there's never going to be, one playing of the mode that functions the same because all the different choices that you have to make. And this is a lot of detail that goes into this. And I'm really excited about some of it. As he says here, it's a pretty short amount of time for a career mode, but it's a part of the uniqueness of a college football game where you play 4 years. And also, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know you can transport your guy to Madden. Your Road to Glory player can be transported to Madden into their superstar mode, but you cannot export your dynasty draft classes. But you can do it for Road to Glory. I'll go ahead and throw that out there. But here we are, Road to Glory. As for the structure, pretty simple. You get to pick from the 3 skill positions up on offense and 2 positions on defense. On offense, you can be a quarterback, a running back, or a wide receiver. On defense, you can be a middle linebacker or a cornerback. You'll pick your archetype, which is dependent on your position and determines your skill tree. Sounds kind of similar to the skill trees of the coaching years of NCAA football 14. You cannot max out the complete skill tree, including your mental and physical abilities, because it is no longer a matter of accruing points and putting them everywhere, but it's instead about building up the areas you pre-select. So that's interesting. It's not the same as the ones in 14 because you're not collecting points to climb up the tree until you can max it out. So it almost sounds like they made it to where you can't max them all out. You have to really select which area you want to focus on, and that may take away from another area as he dives in here. What's right here, this first sentence is the one that has a lot of people ticked off and pissed and shit. Not me. You guys heard in my wishes. This is what I was hoping for. I thought the high school shit was the most boring aspect of the previous Road to Glories. It was really dull. You had to select your length of the season after a while. I would take it down as low as I possibly could. I like this better personally. I want to go straight into college. I want to play my college years, and I want to, have these choices to make throughout, the college time, kind of similar to the old PS2 days when you had, your dorm room and stuff. You don't have your dorm room in this one, more on that in a minute, but you do have similar things to focus on from academics and other areas. And I like that, but you don't start in high school. Instead, you pick your level as a recruit to begin to determine how your grind will be to determine to get playing time. So if you want to make it extra difficult on yourself, you can go all the way down and start as a 2-star, and when you'll be a 65 overall. Or you can be a 3-star, you'll be a 70 overall. 4-star, you'll be a 75 overall, and 5-star, you're right there nearly an 80 overall at 79. If you choose to be a 2-star, you'll have to really spend a lot of time in practice before you get on the field. If you're a 5-star, you'll still have to win a position battle, more on that, to get a starting spot. From there, you will pick the things that are most important to you among the 14 pitch grades each school has, and you will get offers based on your star level and what schools align with what you deem most important. So that's cool. It's not even really, you having to pick, your schools that are recruiting you like in the previous times. You kind of pick what your interests are, what you want your player to be, important to be your recruit, and then they match up the schools based on that. That's cool. Once you're in school, you will not have a dorm room like the old games, but instead most of the mode will be done out of the main screen with different scenarios popping up on your phone throughout. That's cool that you have like a phone and you have different scenarios popping up. You will manage your time each week and have to decide how to balance your schedule between the 5 areas of focus. And this is cool, guys. Your 5 areas of focus that you'll have, and it's really important of how you manage these: academics, leadership, health, training, and brand. How you choose to manage your time will determine everything from your eligibility to play. Yes, you can go academically ineligible. So maybe, you're trying to focus on your playing stuff. You want to be strictly a guy that's worried about my NIL. I want to worry about my playing time. Well, your academics start to suffer. Your GPA starts to come down. You're going to be academically ineligible in this shit. That's cool. That's how realistic this Road to Glory mode is. And also to whether you get challenged for a starting job. Going too far in any direction means neglecting another, which has consequences. On the other hand, it's not simply a matter of balancing everything out, because that too will mean leaving things on the table. The primary goal of the mode is to make sure you make decisions that are not black and white. There's a lot of gray area involved. That's cool. As they explained it, the goal was to create ethical gray areas with the various dynamic scenarios that will present themselves. Even things like that may seem like a good choice may have a negative consequence down the line. By doing so, they hope to make the story element really matter than rather than cutscenes you were just clicking through to get through the game. How will they do that? And this is where we're going to dive into those 5 key areas: the academics, the leadership, the health, training, and brand. First up, academics. When they announced you'd have to maintain your GPA, many people laughed at the idea you'd be taking tests in the game. That is happily not the case. Instead, you have to allocate some hours to studying because there will be tests on your schedule. And if you're not prepared, as indicated by a progress bar, you could fail and become academically ineligible. So that's pretty cool. If that happens, you'll have to spend extra time with tutors, which will further set you back elsewhere. I love that shit, man. I love that detail. It's one of my favorite things from the original, campus legend mode and race for the Heisman was they included stuff like that where you had to, back then even on there in Superstory, you had to actually take, the quizzes. I know some people obviously may not like that, but I did because, you had the sports ones and then you had the other ones. And it was really interesting addition. So at least they have some kind of form of that where you do have to, allocate time to studying. I wouldn't be mad if you had to take the test personally. I kind of like that, but that's just me. All of the elements come with potential boost to your skill trees and academic figure to boost your mental ability on the field as well. Leadership and position battles. Leadership is where you bank coach trust points, which is how you get on the field. So coach trust is back. Allocating time here means getting in the film room and doing necessary football work that's not on field drills to show your coach and teammates that you are committed. When you get enough coach trust and catch a teammate ahead of you in the depth chart, you'll trigger a position battle. The position battle brings the glorious return of mini games. Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome, guys. Love mini games. I complain a shit ton about Madden 24. It's the first Madden I played in 5 years. But the one thing I did like was it does have some of the mini games that I did love from the old Maddens and shit. That is cool, and I love that NCAA is going to have. Excuse me, college football 25 is going to have that as well. And you will have to win a best 2 out of 3 against your teammate in the mini game in order to earn that spot. If you win, you'll gain a big boost of coach trust. We saw 1,500 for a starting job, which solidifies you in that spot for a few weeks. If you lose, you only lose minus 100, but your teammate gains a bunch and you'll have to wait for another shot. So that's cool, man. You're going to start off. You're not automatically the starter. You're going to have to work your way up depending on where you go. That's going to also have to factor into your decision of the school you pick, because if you're real far down on the depth chart, you might not get to go to your favorite school. A key element of this is your computer teammates are also always trying to earn coach trust. And if you struggle as a starter, they might catch you and force you into a position battle. I like that as well. So just because you earn the starting role doesn't mean you're going to keep it. You can lose coach trust points. They can gain coach trust points. And then you get into another position battle and have to do those mini games again. That means winning the starting job is only the beginning, because you have to perform to keep it. That's awesome. And then let's get into health. This is where the wear and tear system comes into play. Throughout the season, you'll accrue wear and tear on different body parts by taking hits. And when you get too much in one spot, you start to lose attribute points for certain skills that are tied to that area of your body. You'll need to put some hours into recovery in order to stay healthy throughout the season. So you got to focus on that, schoolwork a little bit, but you have to focus on your health a little bit too. Training. Training is practice on the field, and that's where you gain XP and can boost your ratings and your skill tree. So that's obviously going to be vital. We're going to want to continue to upgrade our attributes throughout this Road to Glory mode. The more time you spend here, the faster you'll see that overall rating rise. However, that could come at the expense of something else, and having a greater overall won't help you if you won't be on the field for academic reasons, injuries, or you don't have the coach's trust. And then brand. And now this is where NIL comes into the game. And, I will go ahead before we get into Dynasty mode, which we'll do here in a bit after we wrap up Road to Glory. And I'll catch up on some of your all's comments. So go ahead, throw those in the chat. But brand, this is where we talk NIL. And we were wondering, how is NIL going to function in this game? How are they going to put that into Dynasty mode? Is it going to be like salary cap and shit? Well, spoiler alert, NIL is not in Dynasty mode. NIL is in Road to Glory mode and does play a factor, though. The final piece is the NIL portion of Road to Glory, where you can sign brand deals to get fans and boost your following. Now, this might seem like the least important thing in the easy section to put off. However, each brand deal will come with in-game boosts that will help you out. And boosting your following could be important for the portal. The example they gave was having a deal with a cryotherapy business that helps you heal faster, requiring future points spent on the health section during the week. So that's an awesome way that they're implementing that NIL, is you kind of get to pick, NIL deals, but those NIL deals that you pick may help with, other areas that you're trying to work on, your academics, your training, your health, all of that as well. And then also in-game boosts, maybe an attribute boost or something that'll help you in certain scenarios. That's cool. I like the way that they're using NIL. And then dynamic scenarios, which this is what they were talking about, the main menu, how stuff's going to pop up on your phone, which will kind of push you into, making decisions in this mode. Throughout the game, you'll be presented with various options. You'll have to pick what to do. with consequences that could be positive and negative at the same time. For example, you might be asked to go do something with teammates instead of study, and you might earn some coaching trust in the leadership category. But if it means you're underprepared for a test, your GPA might drop and you could be in danger of becoming academically ineligible. So, something pops up on your phone, you got to make the choice. Do I want to do this? Is this going to positively affect me, but negatively affect me in an area that, I need to work on? So that's going to go into how you make each one of those decisions. These will pop up throughout your career, and the goal is to force you into some choices that aren't obvious, with how you're balancing the five main areas always needing to be at the top of your mind. And then, of course, game day. All the things you do during the week will impact you on the field during game day as well. Your mental and physical attributes will determine some in-game boosts, as will the aforementioned brand deals. Your coaching trust will determine play calling options, and for quarterbacks, whether you can hot route or audible. So, you got to have high enough coach trust to be able to get, the hot route and audible abilities if you're playing quarterback. Your health will also impact play calling. A banged up quarterback won't get options called, etc. And if you have piled up wear and tear and not done what's necessary to get it down during the week, you'll be at risk of an injury and have diminished stats. And then redshirting in the transfer portal. Like in real life, you can redshirt a year if you play 4 or fewer games. So you can, I guess after you get to that 4-game mark, I'm sure maybe there'll be a thing that pops up on your phone, kind of like those decisions you're talking about. Do you want to continue to play? Are you happy with your role? Or would you like to, sit out and redshirt and maybe enter the portal? I'm sure they'll have some kind of thing for that. The game will automatically do that for you, meaning if you simply can't win that position battle to get on the field or get hurt one year, you'll get that 5th year. You cannot determine to redshirt and refuse to play. Okay, so scratch everything I just said. Not true. But you can take practices and games to try and drop out of position battle. So if you really wanted. So, if you really want a red shirt, you just pretty much don't allow yourself to win that position battle within the first, 4 games or whatever. And, it'll give you that extra year. That's how that functions. Transfer portal. Here we go. New addition, something that wasn't in the previous game that is in this game, both in Road to Glory and in Dynasty. But let's talk about how it functions in Road to Glory here. The transfer portal will be available to you every offseason. As we now know, you can transfer as many times you like right now in college sports. Like in real life, and you will work like recruiting did at the beginning when you picked your first team. You'll get offered from teams that fit your preferences. I really enjoyed that one example they showed where there's a guy that really cares about academics, so his top school was Vandy. If you do this in a video game, God bless you. The coaching carousel will also be happening in the offseason, so your coach might leave, which impacts your coach trust with the new guy coming in, and you might want to follow your old coach. So that's also an option and shit. Chasing records and awards. There will be a robust record keeping system so you can go after national, conference, and school records in various categories. The same will go for awards at the conference and national level, along with all conference and all America teams, and exporting to Madden. As I said, you will be able to export to Madden to superstar mode. That means you have the opportunity to go from recruit to NFL legend across the 2 games and could spend 20 years with your Road to Glory player instead of just 4, because you do get 4 only in, here in the college game, and instead it'll take about 10 to 20 hours, but you can export them to Madden. So that's what we have, Road to Glory.